special guest today that Mrs. Goldscheid and I invited. I'd like to introduce Mr. Birnbaum, who is here to talk to you about special treasures from our Earth. And welcome Mr. Birnbaum and his assistant, Elizabeth.
We're here this morning at the North Shore Hebrew Academy right now. An invitation of the 4th and 2nd grade. This is Goldscheid's 4th grade, and Mrs. Miller and her assistant, Mrs. Kirkos, 2nd grade. Thank you for inviting us. My firm is David Birnbaum, Rockefeller Plaza, and one of our main areas is pearls. And in the interest of the North Shore Hebrew Academy's trying to combine history, science, geography, and the real world, we're here this morning with a little focus on pearls. And I want to thank you all for inviting me. You're a great crew. We're thrilled to be here. First, I'd like to give a little geography. We're talking, when we say pearls, what we're referring to now is really culture pearls. And that means that man helps nature along a little bit. Now, culture pearls, which go up to a certain size, up to about 10.5 millimeter, culture pearls generally are cultured in Japan, in the Far East. The larger pearls, called South Sea pearls, or Tahitian pearls, are cultivated lower down in Asia, in this area here, Tahiti and the Australia region, primarily. Also other parts of the world. So it's pearls cultivation stretches from north in Japan all the way to the south, Australia. Okay. Now, we just happened to have this morning an oyster show, a real oyster show, showing a pearl being cultivated in the oyster shell. This is the bottom part of the oyster shell. Here's the outer shell. Here's the inside. And you can see a little pearl being cultivated. Can you see it? Okay. We only have one volunteer. Hold it. Stand up and hold it. Come, stand up. Hold it. Just turn around and show. That's a little bit. Okay. Make sure the teachers see. So how does this happen? Okay. Well, what happens is the following. The pearl cultivators, the businessmen who cultivate the pearls, they insert a bead, a little bead that's called a nucleus, inside an oyster. The oyster feels the bead, it's a little tiny bead, and the oyster is irritated. The oyster starts coating the bead with a substance called nacre, N-A-C-R-E, right from the middle of the oyster. And it can make thousands of layers of nacre around this little bead. After 1 to 4 years, if all goes well, the result is a cultured pearl. Now, if by accident a little pebble got into an oyster, the same process happening, that would be a natural, uncultured pearl. That's very rare. It's the whole world trade today. 99.99% cultured pearls. Okay? And here you see the situation midway through the process, with the pearl being coated with a nacre substance. And the chemical composition of this nacre substance is calcium, or calcite. Since Mrs. Miller and Mrs. Goldscheid, Mrs. Kirkos will yell at me if I don't give you all the technicals.
That's right. Okay,
this is a demanding, high excellence, high achieving school. At the end of the 1 to 4 years, the oysters are harvested. They're taken out of the baskets where they're kept, generally in lagoons, and the pearls are taken out. Then the oysters, if they're in decent shape, are put back into the lagoon. So they're kept in cages attached to rafts. in protected areas to protect them from storms, etc. Now, if all goes well, the pearl might actually be a round, beautiful pearl. But that would be one situation in a few hundred possibilities. If there's a storm or rainstorms or monsoons or typhoons, it affects the shape. Okay? Now, generally, the pearl substance is white. But some pearls have a nacre which is a different color. That can be black, or it can be slightly golden. These are unusual situations, but they lead to the golden pearls and to black pearls in particular. The most of the world market are white pearls, and sometimes, extra rare situations, a slight touch of pink to it. I'm going to show you all those today. Okay? I want to take this moment to pass around the shell, and when you hold it, I'd like you to face the camera just for a second and say your first name. Okay? Okay.
Jordana. Rafaela.
Take a good look at it.
Joel. Talia. Alexandra. Amanda. Elliot. Daniel. Gabriel. Jason. Jared. Melanie. Jennifer. Peter. Zachary. Miriam.
A little slower. Okay, say your name clearly.
Take a good look at it.
Jennifer. Carol. Janelle. Michelle. Brett. Joseph. Mara. Ariana. Michelle. Erica. Ariana. David.
Now, this session is being taped by Public Access Channel 49 cable. And now we're going to discuss some technicals about fine pearls. Okay? How do we grade pearls? What are we looking for? Here is a chart, and we'll give you each a copy before I start pointing to the blow-up chart here. Elizabeth, my assistant, start passing out a chart, the technical chart about grading pearls. Since there's not one international grading system in pearls, our company set up its own. And we use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different categories which we look towards. And each category we grade from 10 down to 1, 10 being the highest. So the first thing we look for is luster. How lustrous, how shiny is a pearl? Luster, shiny is better than dull in pearls. Luster is related to cultivation. Cultivation is another word for nacre, which we discussed. So the more coatings, if we're lucky, the more luster. So luster and cultivation are interrelated, are connected. Usually the more nacre, the more shell on a pearl, the more luster. So we look for the shine, and through the shine or sheen, we look to try to see how deep is the coating. The parallel might be how many coats of wax on a Rolls Royce. But here it's more serious because the essential pearl is the coating. Because in a car, the wax is just the air. Okay. Whiteness. The world markets like white as opposed to off-white. However, the world markets like the secondary color to be a slight pink if possible, particularly in the pearls under 10 millimeter. Pearls over 10 millimeter, it's rare to have much secondary color of pink. Okay? So I'm going to show you pearls over 10 millimeter also with a little pink in them. Next, there's roundness. Round pearls are more expensive than, say, oval pearls or off-shaped pearls.
Interesting.
Okay? Sort of high level of perfection. But many people only want what's called Baroque pearls, which are off-shaped pearls. They don't care that it's a little less money, they want them more than the round pearls. And it's often considered a connoisseur's item, a specialty item. off-shaped pearls. They're done beautifully. Okay. The other aspect is cleanness. How clean are they as opposed to being marked up or pocketed or crated? Okay? The next is uniformity. Do they match each other? The world markets want necklaces with pearls matching each other. Okay. Now we're going to show you how we measure pearls. We said different millimeters. And now we're going to show you how we measure pearls. This is a millimeter gauge used by pearl dealers around the world. Okay, I need a volunteer. Okay, come. Okay, Daniel with the technical chart. Okay, push the bar. Push a little bit wide as a point. Okay. It's between 5 and 6, right? And it went around once before. So 10 plus 5.5 is 15.5 millimeter. These pearls are 15.5 millimeter. The gauge went around once, and the second time to 5.5. 15.5 millimeter. These pearls here, we have another volunteer. Okay? Young lady. Okay. There's the camera. Push the gauge. What do we got? What does it say here? Second. 5.5, but it only went around once. So these are 5.5 millimeter. And these are, ones we showed before, are 15.5 millimeter. These are 10 millimeter larger than these. These are almost 3 times larger than these. So these are used mainly for earrings, they're so expensive. Right? And these are used for beautiful necklaces. Okay? Now as far as lengths, this is called opera length. They're about 32 inches long. This is called choker length. It's around 16 inches long. How did you think they got the name opera length? Maybe because they're so fancy, people used to wear them when they went to the opera. What do you think? Maybe? And why do you think these are called choker length? What do you think?
Because they're so close to your neck, you could choke.
You almost would choke. Of course you don't, right? You choke with happiness, right? Okay. And now we're going to show you a little bit more pearl jewelry. Okay? So, these are 3 Baroque necklaces. Length is opera length, a long length. The shape is Baroque. It's a little interesting. And the colors are white, black, gray, and golden. These are unusual pearls, unusual set. Okay. Each one has been assembled separately. We made a triple set out of them, and you can wear 1, 2, or 3. Okay, see the different colors? Okay. And remember, they got different colors because the nacre from the oyster in each case was a slightly different color. Okay.